It was a single sentence, spoken through trembling lips, that echoed around the world. Ever since I was born, Daddy has been the best father you could ever imagine. And I just wanted to say I love him so much. Those words came from an 11-year-old girl standing before a global audience of millions. Her name was Paris Jackson. Her father was Michael Jackson, the king of pop. And on that heartbreaking day in 2009, she said goodbye to him for the last time. For those watching, it was more than a moment of grief. It was the unveiling of a child the world had barely seen. Hidden behind masks and carefully shielded from the public eye, Paris and her brothers had been a mystery. Now, suddenly, they were front and center, children mourning a father who had fought desperately to protect them from the very cameras now capturing their pain. This is the story of Paris Jackson. A story of love and loss, of family and legacy, of public pressure and private battles. A story that proves that resilience can bloom even in the harshest spotlight. Paris Michael Catherine Jackson entered the world on April 3, 1998, in Beverly Hills, California. From the very beginning, her life was anything but ordinary. Her father, Michael Jackson, was not just a music icon, he was a global phenomenon. But behind the fame, he was determined to give his children something money and stardom rarely allowed, a real childhood. Michael's strategy was unconventional. When out in public, Paris and her brothers, Prince and Blanket, wore masks to conceal their faces. To outsiders, it was strange, even controversial. But for Michael, it was a shield. He wanted his children to know the world on their own terms, not through the distorted lens of celebrity. Inside the gates of Neverland Ranch, Paris's world was filled with animals, art, and music. She once described her childhood as magical, a place where love was abundant and imagination was encouraged. Yet it was also a childhood lived in the shadow of global fascination. Even in isolation, the eyes of the world lingered on the Jackson family. On June 25, 2009, Paris's life shattered. Michael Jackson, the father who had been her universe, was gone. The suddenness of his death left the world in shock, but for Paris, it was a loss beyond comprehension. At just 11 years old, she was thrust into a reality most adults could barely navigate. The memorial service at the Staples Center was watched by an estimated 2.5 billion people. And it was there that Paris, through tears, spoke those unforgettable words about her best daddy. That single moment introduced her to the public not as a Jackson heir, but as a grieving daughter. Michael's death triggered an immediate media frenzy. Reporters camped outside the Jackson family compound. Tabloids speculated about custody battles, inheritance disputes, and hidden secrets. Catherine Jackson, Michael's mother, was granted legal guardianship of Paris and her brothers, a decision that gave them stability but could not protect them entirely from the storm outside. In the years after Michael's passing, Paris's life became a balancing act between privacy and exposure. For a time, she lived quietly with her grandmother Catherine in Calabasas, surrounded by family. But the outside world was relentless. Paparazzi followed her to school. Gossip sites dissected every public appearance. Every smile, every frown, every outfit was analyzed for hidden meaning. Paris tried to live like a normal teenager. She played sports, acted in school plays, and even appeared in a few interviews. But the Jackson name was a weight she could never set down. She once admitted that she often felt like she had to live up to impossible expectations, both as Michael's daughter and as a young woman finding her own identity. At 19, Paris made a bold decision. She moved into her father's private studio at the Jackson family estate, transforming it into her personal space. The move symbolized independence, but also connection. Living among her father's belongings allowed her to stay close to his memory while building a life of her own. Behind the public appearances and glossy magazine covers, Paris battled private demons. The grief of losing her father never truly faded. In candid interviews, she has spoken about the depression and loneliness that haunted her teenage years. In 2013, those struggles reached a breaking point. Paris attempted to take her own life, a heartbreaking moment that underscored the depth of her pain. The incident made headlines worldwide and sparked conversations about mental health, grief, and the pressures of growing up in the public eye. Paris spent time in treatment, focusing on therapy and self-healing. She emerged stronger, more self-aware, and determined to speak openly about mental health. Her honesty has since inspired fans around the world who face similar battles. As she entered adulthood, Paris refused to let tragedy define her. Instead, she channeled her energy into music, modeling, and acting, fields where she could express herself on her own terms. Her modeling career took off quickly. With striking features and a magnetic presence, Paris graced the covers of major magazines like Rolling Stone and Harper's Bazaar. She signed with IMG Models and became a fixture at high-profile fashion events, earning praise for her edgy, bohemian style. But music remained her deepest passion. In 2020, she released her debut solo album, Wilted, a soulful blend of folk and indie sounds. The album explored themes of love, loss, and self-discovery, an intimate reflection of her journey. Critics praised its authenticity, noting that Paris's haunting vocals carried the weight of lived experience. While Paris has guarded her personal life with care, she hasn't escaped public curiosity about her relationships. Over the years, she has been linked to several partners, both men and women. Paris identifies as pansexual, openly embracing love without the boundaries of gender. In interviews, she has spoken candidly about the challenges of dating in the public eye. Every romance, every breakup, becomes fodder for tabloids. Yet Paris remains unapologetic about her choices, insisting that love, in all its forms, is a fundamental part of her journey. Her most public relationship was with musician Gabriel Glenn, with whom she formed the folk duo The Soundflowers. Their music, much like their relationship, was intimate and soulful. Though the pair eventually parted ways, Paris has described the experience as transformative, a relationship that helped her grow as an artist and a person. Being Michael Jackson's daughter comes with unavoidable controversies. Paris has faced relentless speculation about her appearance, her behavior, and even her parentage. Tabloids have published wild rumors, from false plastic surgery claims to unfounded theories about her relationships. Through it all, Paris has learned to set boundaries. She confronts misinformation head-on, often using social media to call out intrusive reporting. Her resilience in the face of constant scrutiny is a testament to the strength she inherited from her father. Despite forging her own path, Paris remains deeply connected to her father's legacy. She often speaks about how Michael's music, philanthropy, and love for his children continue to guide her. She attends events honoring his memory and defends him against lingering controversies. But Paris is equally committed to creating her own identity. "I'm not my dad," she has said. "I'm me." That balance, honoring the past while embracing the future, is at the heart of her story. Paris Jackson's life is more than a celebrity saga. It's a testament to resilience, independence, and the enduring power of family. Her journey offers universal lessons. Family comes first. Love and connection are the foundations that carry us through life's hardest moments. Plan for tomorrow. Life can change in an instant. Estate planning, inheritance protection, and guardianship arrangements are not just financial tasks, they are gifts of stability for loved ones. Embrace new chapters. Whether it's music, modeling, or simply personal growth, every stage of life offers opportunities for renewal. Today, Paris Jackson stands as more than Michael Jackson's daughter. She is a model, a musician, an activist, and a survivor. Her life, marked by both privilege and pain, reminds us that grief does not define us, it shapes us. Through music, art, and fearless self-expression, Paris continues to transform tragedy into triumph. She honors her father's memory not by living in his shadow, but by shining a light of her own. The little girl who once stood on a stage and told the world she loved her daddy has grown into a woman of remarkable strength. Paris Jackson's journey, from hidden child to global figure, from grief to growth, is a story of resilience that transcends fame. Her life teaches us that legacy is not only about what we inherit, it's about what we create. For Paris, The greatest tribute to her father is not in records sold or awards won, but in the courage to live authentically, love openly, and keep moving forward.